except you be changed and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. I didn't say that. This is God's word in Matthew 18:3, that we must be converted. Our hearts, our minds, be ye transformed. We have to go through that change. You know that metamorphosis where the caterpillar crawls and inches up the tree and finds this one particular branch, and he attaches himself to it, and he hangs there, and within a few days that chrysalis, his body began to go through this metamorphosis, and it changes, and it gets hard and brittle, and inside there's something going on. Is there something going on in you? Is there a change occurring in you, and you are wondering what's going on? Maybe it's that time. Maybe it's that time for a change. That time where the inner righteousness is going to begin to manifest, where that childlike spirit is going to begin to flow, and that repentance is going to fill your soul. Luke 13:2 says, and Jesus answering and said unto them, suppose ye that these Gentiles were sinners above all the Galatians, because they suffered these things. I tell you, nay, but except ye repent, you shall all likewise perish. Repent, be renewed, turn around, do a 360, do a 180, whatever you got to do, but do it, and let that peace, that strength, like a river, flow through you. Isaiah 48:18 says, oh, that thou hadst hearkened to my commandments, then had thy peace been as a river, and thy righteousness as the wave of the sea. My brothers and sisters, Christ stands with an outstretched arm. Whatever you need, he's able to give. Whatever you have been through, the brokenness, he is able to heal a broken heart. So all of those that are standing far off, come to the table today. Come and sit with that motley crew of misfits and understand that God changed them, and he can also change you. Nothing is too hard for God. And remember, there's a way out of your mess. And it's JESUS. Be encouraged.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Roane, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome into Ask Your Neighbor on a Wednesday. Today is 30th day of July. Ms. Stephanie Wells joining us, Director of Anderson County Tourism. Hello, Stephanie. How are you, ma'am?
I'm doing great, Ron. How are you?
I'm good. We were talking about the heat and humidity has been fun the last little bit, hasn't it?
It has. It has. So just make sure everybody just stays hydrated and visits the lake. Right?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much. I was out working. James David and I were out working on the lawnmower Sunday after church, and it was man, it was hot.
Yes.
I just walked over and flopped in the pool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
As long as I've got a water source near me, I don't mind how hot it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if it's just spraying yourself with water hose.
It's exactly. Whatever it takes. Stay cool. But yeah, stay cool and hydrated if you can.
Yeah. We were trying to, we had a sprinkler. We redid our landscaping. So we've been trying to keep it watered. And my husband was doing the sprinkler and he came in and soaked. He's like, the sprinkler got me. I was like, was that on purpose or was that by accident? I was like, I kind of have a feeling that was purposely done.
Keeps cool. Whatever it takes, right?
Yes.
So what do we have going on this month with the weather, with the sunshine and all that we've got?
Yeah, so we have a lot going on. Typically, August is a little bit of a downtime for us because kids are going back to school. And you got to think, too, that a lot of the workforce is going back to school. A lot of our marinas have students employed over the summer. So it's kind of a little bit of a drop. But, the northern schools go back to school later than we do typically.
Okay.
And so there's still a lot of people visiting the area. But we also have a lot of events that are coming up. One of the things that, we've talked a lot about in the past is mountain biking.
Yeah.
And how popular that has become in this area between Windrock and now with Aspire Park and North Stem State Park. A lot of people are, it's a new hobby for a lot of people.
Sure.
And so there are summer riding clinics at Windrock. This weekend is one of the last ones that they are doing.
Okay.
But I'm sure that they're probably going to offer them in the future. But it's a good opportunity to go and learn from professionals some of the best riding, tips and all of those kind of things too. So, because downhill mountain biking is a lot different than cross country. So,
see, I don't know the difference. It's just riding a bike.
It's just basically the incline. But yes, cross country, you're pedaling a little bit more and putting a little bit more into it, and downhill, you're just trying to be sure. To me, you're just trying to be sure you don't get yourself killed, but just keeping it on the track and going where you're supposed to be going and jumping all the cool jumps and things like that. So it is a little bit different. But
have you got much information on the trails, the mountain biking trails at Aspire? There's about 20.
Yeah, they've miles of trail that goes out onto that peninsula. And then what a lot of people love is that pump track that they have. So that kind of simulates some of the mountain biking, the jumps and things like that. And it's a good way to learn how to do that in a controlled environment before you actually get out there on the trail. So I don't know.
I see a lot of people taking their bikes down there.
Yes,
so and I've not been on them. I haven't seen them yet. I've seen the park and the.
I mean, they're not as extreme as Windrock is. Yeah. But it's a good course. I've heard a lot of people talk about, that are, great bike riders, mountain bikers, and they love it.
I know they brought in 4 different people to do 4 different tracks, so you've got the great variation. So and one of them was Red Bull. I think Red Bull did one of them, designed one of them. So that's cool. I think so. Mountain biking's getting big, isn't it? I guess it's always been big in other areas, but it's starting to grow here.
And what I hear, especially about like North Stem State Park, because of the soil, it drains very well. So there's a lot of times, like Knoxville has a lot of trails, especially around the Imes Nature Center and there in South Knoxville. And that's one of the complaints is if it rains today, you're not going to be able to go for a couple of days. Yeah. So just depending on the time of the year, and today you'd probably be fine with how hot it is. It'd probably dry pretty quickly.
Yes, probably.
But with Norris Dam State Park and Norris Watershed and some of the soil in this area, Hall Ridge, those areas, it just drains very well and it dries off really quickly. So we had a mountain bike event earlier in the year in the spring, and it rained the day before, and it rained a lot. You know how we had a very wet spring. It had rained a lot previously, and
no problem.
They got the trails. I mean, you're going to get the mud sprung upon you, but no, did very well.
Pretty good turnout for that event?
Yes. We limit it to 200 people because you really don't want to put more than 200 people on a trail at one time in that area. So we do limit it, but we always
filled up the whole 200?
Yes. We always get people from, I think we had 7 different states this time. And we have one group that always comes down from Ohio and does it. That's love it. So, and we always get new people too. We had one guy, we're always kind of a little bit hesitant, but this one guy's like, I've never been here before. I'm willing going to try it out. And we're like, oh, where do you mountain bike? We tried to ask him some questions
see if he's capable.
Yeah, it's like, we want to make sure you didn't buy one on your way down here. So, it's not something that, when you do go to learn, if it's something you're interested in, like I said, taking one of these clinics or getting with somebody that mountain bikes and starting off simple and building yourself up. Don't go to Windrock on your first day.
No, unless it's to go with the clinic, right?
Exactly.
To learn.
Exactly.
Good.
So, but check out. We've got a lot of different trails in the area, a lot of different varieties, and there's several bike clubs too. I mean, the Clinch River. I said that wrong. Clinch Valley Trail Alliance. They're a group of riders that meet together, I think, once a month and go riding. So, a different group. So there's a lot of different options out there.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
What else we got going on?
So the Sip of Summer is this Friday, August the 1st, and that is an event for the Historic Downtown Committee, which is our Main Street program. So they do that event every year. They bring in different breweries and I think that there's other different alcohol options at this point, but they set up at the, I always want to say Brown. That's not it anymore. Oh, help me, Ron. I'm going to be in so much trouble for getting this wrong. The house. What is the house?
Kincaid?
Yes, Kincaid House. I couldn't get. I'm going back to when Kathy Brown owns it. That's the problem with being here for too long. You remember what it used to be called?
Exactly.
And so, yes, the Kincaid House. Sorry, I apologize.
That's all right.
But it slipped my mind. But it'll be at the Kincaid House on Friday, and like I said, that great food. There's breweries that come in, and you can get a lot of different tastes and a lot of different products.
Okay. And what's that called?
So, it's Sip of Summer. It's a fundraiser for the Downtown Committee, and I serve on that committee, and they do a lot of great work. They're the ones that host all the antique festivals now and some of the other things. And, one of the things that Catherine's been doing a lot here lately is just putting out information about the construction. Yeah. If you haven't been in downtown Clinton lately, drive by there. It looks totally different. I just came that way this morning, and
they've already pulled sidewalks
are gone.
It looks weird, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's going to be cool.
They're going to be doing new utilities. I think a lot of that's already done and in the ground, and then they're working on the sidewalks right now. So that will also go down a part of Main Street. Yeah. So they're trying to get it done this summer on Market so that we can have the fall festival back down there, and then they'll be working on Main Street next. It's going to look different.
Everybody says it's going to be very nice.
It's going to be very nice.
I've seen drawings, but anxious to see it when it's done.
Yeah. All right. But the
Sip of Summer.
Yes, and the Historic Downtown Committee is a nonprofit, and again, they do a lot of the beautification projects in Clinton, on Market Street and Main Street, and promote the area, those kind of things.
If somebody wants to go to that, do they need tickets? Do they need to do it in advance?
Yes, you can purchase tickets online.
Okay.
So just probably Google Sip of Summer Downtown Clinton, and you'll find the information.
That's good. Very good. All right.
Yeah. So one of the new things that the Appalachian Arts and Crafts Center is doing is a Meet the Artist. So they're featuring a different artist every month, and then they're having an opportunity for people to come in and meet them too. So have you been in there?
No.
Okay. So the story goes back probably going on 80 years now, where two ladies, they used to be across the street next to the Museum of Appalachia. John Rice Irwin actually donated a building for them to use at one time, but they were two women that were concerned about people were not going to know how to do a lot of these Appalachian crafts anymore. I mean, things that they did out of necessity, like build quilts and pottery and different woodworking, those kind of things. Those were all things that they did out of necessity that kind of turned into art and crafts. And they were worried that people were just forgetting how to do some of those things. So they started the center as an opportunity for artists to not only come there and make their products, but then to turn around and sell them too. So they moved across the street. They have a 2-story building now. And in the basement, you can go, if you're a member, you can go and actually work on your crafts there, because not everybody has a pottery wheel or a kiln that you can whatever that process is, where you
cook your pottery.
So and a lot of people don't have room for a quilting loom in their house.
Yeah,
those kind of things, or a weaving wheel, and those kind of things. So all of that equipment is there for the members to come by and take classes, or they have a lot of different groups that come there and meet. They have a weaving group that comes there and meets, and a quilting group. And so I think a lot of them admitted that they just come for the camaraderie more than anything, to sit around and talk.
Sure.
But it's a great group. And then again, you can sell your items upstairs.
That's
too.
pretty cool.
So, and they have some beautiful stuff. If you're looking for
Very
a
unique stuff.
item,
I think we've talked about that, the items before, like if somebody can't figure out what to get, or they have everything.
Yep. I received a piece of pottery as a wedding gift, and so that's what I've tried to do for different people, is go there and get something, as a wedding gift. That's or cool. A baby gift, or something like that that's made in this area. Everybody is from this region, so it's really cool.
And they're right across from the museum, right?
They are.
Yes,
they are.
I know where the building is. I know the building. I don't recall. I don't think I've ever been in it. I don't think. I might have. I forget a lot now.
I understand. So they have this month's is August the 2nd, and then they'll have another one in September. So just check those out. They're both listed on our website, and I know they'll be on their website. So
the artists just come in. You can meet them and look at their.
I'm not sure this month which one, but I think they're going to be demonstrating some of their art, creating some of their art. So check that out. And then they'll be featured all month long too.
That's cool.
So,
Yes. All right, that's good.
And then I'm talking about all of our nonprofits, but like I've said before, most of our museums are nonprofits.
Yeah.
But the Museum of Appalachia is having a full moon picking party, and so I know a lot of people were disappointed when they stopped doing the homecoming. Mm-hmm. But we talked about events and how expensive they can get and how overwhelming they can get for an organization. So I think they have tried to keep the I can't ever say that word. Thank you. Can't ever say that word, especially with braces. But they've tried to keep that in different components. They have the Fall Heritage Days in October, and now they've started picking up these full moon picking parties. And so they'll have a headliner there that performs, and then it's just a real casual atmosphere. And again, it's in the evening, so when the full moon is out, and that is on August the 8th.
Okay.
So that'll be really good. Let me look and see. I did not recognize the name of the gentleman that was going to be there.
Okay.
But I will see if you do. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick.
Okay.
But again, that is Yeehaw Brewing is partnering with them, and so no outside food or anything like that, but there'll be food and beverage for everybody. So as that pulls up, we'll go on. Okay. But also, too, the Oak Ridge, the Manhattan Historical National Park has been doing tennis court dances.
Yes.
So they have a big historical significance.
Do they do that once a month?
They do that once a month.
Okay.
So the next one is August the 21st, and I think they have another one in September. But that is basically there on the courts. It's what they used to do back when
dance on the tennis courts.
At the beginning of the Manhattan Project.
It's pretty cool.
So they are still to continue to do those. So let me see. Pull this. Jake Worthington. I'm not sure if you.
Doesn't ring a bell.
A rising country music star. So I listened to some of his music. It was really good.
Well, good.
But again, just the atmosphere there. Back to the Museum of Appalachia. But just the atmosphere there on the lawn, and bring your chair and hang out with some friends.
Yeah.
So be really good.
And what do they need tickets? Is there
yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you can buy those online also.
Is it just the general admission ticket to go to the museum, or different?
No, it's a special ticket for this event.
All right.
So
good.
So just check those out. I think we said everything about the tennis court dances, but again, it's,
throwback to the
very
40s.
Unique, very different. I was just thinking when I was writing this list out this morning, what did you do without TV and social media?
You went to the tennis courts and danced.
You went to the tennis courts and danced. So I just love the social aspect of it.
Absolutely.
So I think it's
it's
really
well
fun.
needed.
Yes,
in today's society.
So the summer sessions, which are concerts in Oak Ridge, they're still going on. There's another one August the 23rd.
Yes.
And that's presented by ORNL, and I think free to the public.
It is.
So check those out.
I think they're doing more of a bluegrass, Americana kind of feel. I think those are.
Yes, I think so. So, and then speaking of Oak Ridge and music, the Oak Ridge Community Band will do their concert on August the 31st. This will be their Labor Day concert. You know, they usually do one. They did one for July the 4th. They did one for Memorial Day, and so this will be their Labor Day concert. So August the 31st, and you know, that's another thing that has been going on forever. I think it's the longest running community band.
Yeah, I can't remember when it was.
Beginning of Oak Ridge.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really, and it's all volunteer people that, you know what I mean? They're not professional, or maybe they are professional, but they don't get paid. They do it out of the love of the music. Oh, yeah. And they're great. They're very good, too.
Yep. They're passionate about their music. So.
Yes. Cool.
And we're kind of staying in Oak Ridge. The Atomic Fest is new this year. So it's kind of taken the place of the Secret City Festival.
Okay. I heard about that, but now I didn't know that it was already established and getting ready to happen.
Yes, September the 26th.
Well,
so if anybody, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that remember the Secret City Festival.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
So it's kind of the same feel. They're going to have a concert, but it's going to be more of a local, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, we did Charlie Daniels there. We did Kix Brooks. We did the Allman Brothers.
Yes, we're the Oak Ridge Boys.
The Oak Ridge Boys. Yeah, we did the Oak Ridge Boys. Eddie Money. I mean, we got to. Well, we were lucky. They let Merle. You know, we were part of the promoting it. So I got to go and hang out and meet all those folks. And great music too.
Yes,
very good music.
Absolutely.
I missed that. I realized it was a huge undertaking, and I know they lost money a couple of times. They made money some too. And then there got to be different opinions on how they should carry on.
Right.
And kind of, so it morphed into what is now the Atomic Festival.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting. And that's when?
September the 26th.
Okay. Cool.
So I think there's still kind of, there's some information online. If it's something that you'd like to participate in as a vendor, we get a lot of phone calls from people because we put the information on our website. And so they're calling us or emailing us saying we want to be a part of that. So I would just suggest going to their website and contacting them if that is something that you would want to be interested. I just look up Atomic Fest.
Okay.
It may be just atomicfest.com.
Got it.
But I think it's Atomic Fall Fest.
Got it.
So you may want to throw that fall in there.
That's interesting. I want to look into that because the Secret City festivals, I mean, they drew a lot of people.
They did.
They drew a lot of people. I mean, I think we had 5,700 people that would show up for the concerts. Numerous times. So a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then kind of taking it to a couple of other outdoor events, the Wheeling with Warren, WARN. That's going to be at Winrock. That's another Jeep event. There's a lot of these events this fall where it's guided rides with different groups. So as I said before, if you just bought a Jeep and you want to go take it off trail or off-road.
Somebody will lead you through it.
Yes,
That's pretty cool.
I think that they also have a class that you can come and learn just different techniques for riding off the road and those kind of things. So maybe the equipment that you need, those kind of things. So there's a couple other events this fall that are very similar to this. So just check out our website. It's adventureanderson.com.
Yep.
So check that out and try to plug in with one of those groups.
That's
so
cool.
I know that they're all weekend long, very community oriented, social oriented.
Do most of the people stay up there?
Yes.
So they just make a weekend of it, camp out or
yes,
whatever.
They have, Winrock has built a new campground area, and they have some primitive camping also. You can't camp out on the trail, but they have places that you can camp. And there's other campgrounds that are adjacent to Winrock also that are not part of Winrock Company.
But close enough that if you're participating.
Exactly, and they all have access to the trail too. So check all those out. They're not just if you go on there and they're booked, there's other places.
Okay.
So, but I think they have blocked off for these events. I think they have blocked off some sites.
Accommodations. Okay. Well, good.
And we have all the links there on our website to take you to the right places to register for all these things.
AdventureAnderson.com.
And then we were talking about the Clinch Valley Trail Alliance. They have an event on October the 4th called Hill of Truth at Hall Ridge. So they've kind of adopted Hall Ridge. They're the ones that built the pump track there. They maintain the trails there. And so they have an event. It's a fundraiser for the organization, but it's a 2-day event.
And this mountain biking?
It's mountain biking and trail running.
Okay.
So, or I think, I mean, if you want to hike, you can probably hike it too. But there's different activities that they do throughout the whole weekend. And it is one time that you can come and camp at Hall Ridge. So they do have an overnight option.
Okay.
So you can't typically, on a normal, outside of this event, you can't hike, or you can't camp in Hall Ridge.
Okay.
So, but this one, they have it set up to where you can.
That's good.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's called what? Hill of Truth?
Hill of Truth.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's a fundraiser, so I'm assuming there's a cost or a sign registration or whatever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good.
And again, all of that's linked on our website too, if you want to start there. But any of these events, they have their own website, so you just Google, you can find them.
That, or just again, like you said, start with y'all, and it's all right there. It's all
absolutely.
You can link to it there. Great. And we're getting into, as we get into fall, it'll pick back up.
Yes.
Well, it's not really slowed down,
it really hasn't. I mean, used to, there was, when we would do our event list, there was nothing in August or September.
Yeah.
But there's so much in fall. I mean, every weekend, even in Anderson County, you'll have 2 or 3 events on the same weekend.
Exactly.
So I think everybody is starting to push back into September. And then our travel market has changed.
Yes.
With different generations, you've got a huge baby boomer that's empty nesters. You have what we call dinks, double income, no kids.
Oh, wow.
So you have a lot of people that are waiting later to have children, so they're able to travel during times when school is in. So there's a lot of, it's kind of used to, you had to travel Memorial Day to Labor Day. That was pretty much it for trying to get people here in the summer. But now you've got a lot of people that are traveling in August and September.
Well, fall around here, with the leaves and the mountains and all of that, plus even still the lakes in the fall, right? I mean, I've been on the lake. I've been on the lake in November. Yeah, I've swam in October numerous times, and I've actually been out on my houseboat in January. A couple of days, and you're getting those high 60s in January.
Oh, yeah,
it's pretty.
Nice.
So plenty of nice weather around going into the fall.
I think there's times it's been warm. The water temperature has been warmer in October than it was in May.
Really?
So because you're coming off of that summer heat, where in May you're coming off of the spring and winter cold. So yes, we've been in the lake in October before.
I've been in. Probably every year I've been in the lake in October, so it's always
not just on the lake, in the lake.
No, yeah, swimming, absolutely. No, it's still very warm through October. I mean, I don't remember it not being. So I'm sure if we had some, a couple weeks of really cold weather, it would get chilly quick, but that usually don't happen.
We had a warm November last year.
Yes, we did.
So we had a lot of people, and Thanksgiving was later last year, and is going to be later this year too. Okay. So it makes the Christmas season kind of small, but it extends that fall a little bit.
Good.
So we had a really good, as far as looking at economic impact for last November, we had a really good, probably the best November we've ever had.
Really? Now, do you have any numbers on that?
I don't. I mean, I can get you some. I can bring you some stuff next time to kind of show you. We've talked about this before. We have a great program called Placer AI, and it lets us track cell phone data and visitation, and it's allowed us to do things that get information we've never had before.
Really?
So it's really kind of changed our mind too, because we thought we knew
where they were coming from and what they wanted.
Yes, but then realized, we see this big audience coming from this area. South Carolina has been a lot of our visitation has been coming in from South Carolina.
Really?
Which you think, these people are going to the beach, but I guess they're tired of going to the beach.
I mean, they traded in for the mountains for a little while.
We love the mountains. We like to go visit the beach.
Sure.
Same thing, vice versa. So it's been really interesting to see some of that data.
That cell phone data is it? I mean, I guess it's specific to the people.
I mean, we don't know.
You don't know who it is.
We don't know that Ron has visited the Museum of Appalachia, but we can tell you that X amount of people visited on this day at this time, and they came from this area.
Wow.
So, and then they do take census data. Like if we see an area, let's just say Lexington, Kentucky, that we have a lot of visitors coming in from Lexington, Kentucky, they can say, okay, well, in that area, according to the census data, they have this kind of income, they have this size household.
So you can kind of narrow down who you're catering to.
Yes, exactly.
And then you use that for what?
To turn around and figure out where we want to advertise and where we want to promote our area.
Do you look at where the demographics coming from, kind of cater to that, and fish out of that pond?
Exactly. And with everything that's out there now, I mean, I can tell you by zip code what, the income in that area, crime rate, all of those kind of things. Because, I mean, we want to attract the right people to our area. So, like, for example, I say that we promote in Michigan. I don't promote in downtown Michigan. I go out, 20, 30 miles and look at the suburbs of that area and go by zip code and promote to those areas. Income, home ownership, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
People
that have the expendable income that can come and drop a bunch of money and leave.
Absolutely.
Go home. Anything else?
Spend it and go home.
Anything else going on?
And that's all I have as far as the events.
Still, it's a lot. It always is a lot.
A lot going on. A lot of people, school's starting back up, and I know that's a priority for a lot of people, but there's still a lot of events going on.
I got Dragon Day today. So.
Yes, yeah.
I can't either. And Alcoa School started like 2-3 weeks ago.
I think Oak Ridge has probably already started too.
They started last
about
week.
A week before us. So.
That was just too short.
Yes, yeah.
It really
is. The 2 weeks in the fall, and I think they get about the same at Christmas, but 2 weeks in the spring too. So that's kind of.
I get it, and it, I'm sure you get used to it, but it's just, we were off until Labor Day.
Yes,
it's just the way you got off in June. You went back September, so things are changing.
So, but I think I saw something the other day online where they were talking about the 4 days, trying to go to 4 days and contemplating that. So I think that always comes up.
Well, we go a half a day in Wednesday, and if you increased the day just a little bit and went for 4 days, just the savings that our school would have on bus transportation would be astronomical. So it wouldn't hurt my feelings if they, let the kids have Wednesday off.
Right.
And if they had to go, right now they go to about 3:35, I think, or 3:45.
Yes.
Maybe go to 4.
Right.
And then that still wouldn't make up the whole thing, but it would. It would make up a lot. So.
Yeah. And again, I'm not a decision maker on this.
No, me neither.
But I do find it interesting because I know a lot of people, we always struggled when my son was little, and even on the way up into middle school with after school care.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely,
we always struggled with that. So especially when he got into middle school, and the elementary school had a program, but middle school did not. So, and I really wasn't comfortable with him riding a bus home and getting off and being there
by himself
in the afternoon. So, I think that just some of those things might,
help.
Might help. Yes.
Yeah, I agree completely. So, I've often wondered, we go half a day on Wednesday, why not just take that time and spread it out over the other 4 days, take Wednesday off, save all the money from the buses, the gasoline, the maintenance, the paying the drivers, and the insurance and all that would change. It would go down pretty substantially, but I'm sure there's a reason they don't. I just don't know it. But, all right. Yeah.
I think sometimes we get in this mode of, well, this is the way we've always done it.
Yes.
It's hard to even contemplate. And then once you start doing it another way, you're thinking, well, why didn't we do this all along?
We were talking about some of the software and technology that's going on. You think, man alive, I remember back in the day when what I did here was reel-to-reel tape, and you'd have to splice the tape together. And I mean, and today I can push a button and there it is. It's just amazing.
When I started, we were, for any of our ads, it would be a 6-month lead time because you would have to have somebody design the ad. They would send it to you. You would send it to the magazine. They would send back a proof. You would have to send back that. And if there was something wrong, you'd have to have it. You'd mark it up and send it back. And it was just constantly back and forth in the mail. And it's 6 months. I mean, and now, just like somebody called me last week and said, we have got this remnant ad. Would you like to be in there? And I'm like, sure. I sent them my ad that day and we're done.
Yeah.
Because we've had it designed and with our brand and all of that good stuff. So
we go kicking and screaming into new things, but once you get to them, you think, wow, why didn't I do this sooner? So
yes, where has this been all my life?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good. It sounds like we're staying busy, and that's always good because we've had a constant increase in our revenue from our recreation tourism, and that's absolutely. I think, 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 I think think about it sometimes, and I think, are we going to run out of space? Or are we going to run out of things to do? Especially when you're up on the lake on the 4th of July. We were up there this year on the 4th. We went to the boat on the 4th. And I went up on the 2nd. I went up on the 2nd, spent the night, and then Tracy came down after work on the 3rd. And she called me. She was like, there's absolutely no place to park.
Mm-hmm.
Zero place. I mean, and so what they were doing up at the marina, they were taking them, I don't know how far it is. It's a pretty good piece, but putting them where they store trailers, letting them park there, and then bringing them down on golf carts. And I was like, wow. And that's the first time that I've seen it just absolutely so full you couldn't. There was nowhere, not on the sides of the roads, not anywhere. It was just packed out full. I was thinking to myself, man, all these people have boats on the lake right now.
Well, and what we see is usually after July, there is a decline.
Yeah.
It's Memorial Day to July the 4th, and then right before Labor Day will be crazy. Right before, maybe that weekend before Labor Day will be a little crazy. But the month of July and August are, really great times to hit the lake.
Do you see, are we having more tourist attractions coming in? I mean, now we're talking about mountain biking. We never talked about that before. It's kind of a new thing. But do we have, are people finding more things to go do for recreation and tourism? Used to it was go to Gatlinburg,
Right. Oh, I think you definitely have more people that are doing mountain biking, ATVing, some of those different activities, hiking. They'll go and do different hikes. We have people that come in and just drive scenic trails that we have, scenic roadways that we have. That's why they're here specifically, is to drive the Devil's Triangle or the Dragon's Tail, or some of those things like that. That's what they came here for. And they really, we hear this all the time. They're looking for something authentic.
Yeah,
they're looking to get off the beaten path. Nothing against Dollywood. We loved Dollywood when my son was little. We had season passes. We went all the time. But now that he's gotten older, he's not as interested. He loves history. We try to hit up a historical, at least once a month, go, do something.
That's cool.
Historical, or visit a state park.
So people want something a little less commercial, a little more,
absolutely.
real.
Absolutely. I mean, they want to
We've got a lot of that.
Oh, yeah. They want to eat at a local restaurant. I don't know how many times I've spent an afternoon just walking through a downtown, just maybe going to Sweetwater or somewhere like that, and up in Johnson City, and just walking through the downtown area.
You do that just to get a feel of what other areas are doing with tourism?
That's just what we do. I mean, we love it. We've driven over to North Carolina, to the farmer's market, we did the Dragon. Oh, I get very car sick. So I've only done it 3 times in my life. The last time we did it, my husband was with me, and he's like, why did we do this? Because he'd never done it. So, but, even driving down to Tellico or down to Helena, Georgia, just for the day and drive back. So that's just kind of things that we like to do, and just see something historical along the way. We've gone over to Middle Tennessee, and
I know you've went to a number of a bunch of the state parks.
Yes, our goal is to visit and stay at every state park.
Oh, that's cool.
So
how many have you got to go?
We've gotten most of the ones in East Tennessee, so we're working our way. And like Cumberland, we've done the Cumberland Gap. At Memorial Day, we did Fall Creek Falls.
Okay.
Love that state park. So they've got great cabins on the water.
Yes.
So
that's cool.
So
I guess you look for the same thing as the other people do.
I do pick up things along the way that help me in my position. So,
sure.
But definitely. But I think that you will see a lot of people that are taking more trips that are not normal, not the big commercially.
Well, that's good that we don't have to go build big theaters and all these things here in the nature that we have, because people are coming to enjoy the nature that we have.
My job is just to brand it, where they will pick up the information and come visit, just like with our Norris Lake Area Trail System. So we branded those trails that are around Norris Lake several years ago, and kind of created that, we call it NATS, Norris Area Trail System, and we didn't build one single trail.
We just
identified branded them. Big Ridge, Norris Dam State Park, Norris Watershed, Pull assembled in Caryville and looked at what can you do on those trails. You can mountain bike, you can hike, you can trail run, and we just branded it as that product and promote it as Nats
For
Trails.
sure. And then so get it out to people that otherwise might not know. And even if they do know one, they might not know the one in Caryville if they know the one at Big Ridge.
Exactly. And so then, and now that we have Aspire and we have Hall Ridge and we have Windrock, and with Norris, those are 4 trails that, if you're mountain biking and you're like, hey, I can go to this location and I can ride 4 trails.
Yeah.
And right here's Knoxville too. I can jump over and do that. And that's what we're going to do, all weekend long. And we're going to hit a brewery. And my wife may go down to a downtown area.
Sure.
Although you have a lot of women that mountain bike also.
That's cool.
So our event that we did, it was probably close to 60-40 with men and women.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's cool.
So,
all right.
A lot of couples, a lot of children. We had 2 kids this year that were under the age of 16. So if you're over the age of 16, you can ride without an adult, but you have to have an adult with you. So we had 2 kids come this year and ride under the age of 16.
Again, it seems to be a growing sport, or maybe it's just that we're more aware of it.
Yes.
But we're talking a lot about it, and it seems like, with the trails at Spire, like you're talking about, and then trails up in Norris, and then Windrock.
Yeah.
We're gonna end up being not just a lake anymore,
Well, and kayaking is huge.
Yeah,
that is something
I knew that
has really, I think, since COVID has really grown. So not many people can afford a $50,000 plus boat.
Sure.
So
but they can afford a couple $100 for a
$500 kayak.
Sure.
And kind of get the same experience.
Yeah.
So, and the Clinch, you can look up the Pellissippi Blueway is what they call it, from Melton Hill to Norris Dam, Melton Hill Dam to Norris Dam, and they have all of the different launch areas marked. But I just had a lady call me today and say, okay, I want to get out at Aspire Park. Where should I put in? I want to float down river or paddle down river. Where should I put in? At the jail.
Okay.
Basically, best way to describe where.
Sure.
That's called 61 Park. So that parking area there.
Right there on the right side.
Opposite side of the bridge. Just put in there and paddle down. And anybody listening, I do suggest you wait till the water is running.
Mm-hmm.
So because we put in at Miller's Island and floated down to Peach Orchard.
Okay.
So you go underneath the interstate, a little way, and Peach Orchard is up there on your left. And we have had to drag our boats or drag our kayaks across at Miller's Island. So we're like, never again. We're waiting till the water comes on. So, and it makes for a little bit easier paddle too.
Oh yeah, it pushes you downstream.
Yes, yeah, because we put it at Peach Orchard one time and paddled up to the interstate bridge and went up Cove Creek.
Yeah.
So when the water wasn't running. So that's that's easy to do. But and Cove Creek is really cool too. If you go up through there's a lot of rock formations and great fishing. That's what my husband.
A lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see from the road.
From the road.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's cool.
Definitely. But we had friends of ours put in at Miller's Island and float all the way down or paddle all the way down to the jail. So that took them, I think, about 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
So that's a all day activity. But yeah. But if you look at the map, you think that it's, the river doesn't follow the highway.
No.
It goes all the way out around Eagle Bend Industrial Park and kind of comes back down. So it'll take you a good couple hours, maybe 3 hours to go from the jail down to Aspire.
When I lived at 502 Riverside right there, I would take my houseboat up, not quite all the way to the industrial park, but up that pretty far. Mm-hmm. And then you could just kill the motor, and whether you were fishing or whatever, and then you would the current would bring us all the way, just bring me back home, Yes. And that was always very peaceful. I was in a pontoon boat, not a kayak, but I suppose it's very similar if you're doing it in a kayak. Anything else?
But there's a couple other put-ins also down through there, and even if you put in an Aspire, you're going to go up a little bit and come back down to Lakeshore Park.
Yes.
So that's another good, easy trip. So yeah,
good. Okay. Well, anything else that you want folks to know about yet?
I don't think I have anything else.
Wait till I'm sure we'll have a lot of stuff next month.
Yeah, this is crazy, but we're already starting our fall campaign, so that will launch next week. So trying to get people to come here during the fall. So we're always about 3 months ahead.
That's good.
Promoting, yeah.
I guess you have to be just keep up with it.
Exactly. We want to plant that seed.
And if anybody wants any more information, they can go to adventureanderson.com.
Yes.
Okay. I got it now. I got away from y'allcome.org.
You can still get there. You can still get there at the y'allcome.org.
All right.
But
thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
I think people enjoy hearing what we have to do, and a lot of the things that we have to do, the kayaking, it doesn't. I mean, if you have a kayak, it doesn't cost you anything. It's easy to get out and do. Yeah. If you've got an afternoon, I mean, I can go walk out in my backyard, kayak to Melton Hill.
Yes,
It's easy.
Well, and there's talking about economic impact, there's a gentleman that has opened a business now that will pick you up downriver and take you back to your vehicle.
Oh.
So, yeah. I mean, that was cool. We always put in at one place, we park a vehicle at one, drive up, put in there, and have to
go back and
forth.
Have two vehicles.
Two vehicles. Make sure you gotta have 2 or 3 people. And we never wanted to leave my son anywhere by himself. So that was always a struggle. But yeah, I mean, there's opportunities out there. Fishing guides.
Oh yeah.
Listen, young guys, if you love to fish, a fishing guide is a great business. We are all the time looking for them.
Really?
So yes. So if something, while you're young and not really maybe financially committed to a family and all those good things. So that would be a good, got a boat, got a nice boat.
If you love to fish, that'd be a pretty good gig, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Going out,
how to do it.
Just take people out and fish.
Because, Norris Lake is a difficult lake to fish.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that from different people. But then I hear from people, if you talk to Charlie Lane, he'll just laugh at you. He's like, if you know what you're doing, you can find them.
Well, I've taking the boys deep sea fishing a number of times, and we always just go on one of those charters. It's you've got 80 or 90 people, right?
Yeah.
Or 40 or 50 people, whatever. And last year, Tracy ran across this guy. That's what he did, and he just it's a small boat, but like 6 people, 7 people.
Right.
So it's just us.
Yes.
And then he knows exactly where to take you to get whatever you want. If you want to get flounder, you go. We went this time. And we caught sharks. That's what we went out and caught. I don't know how many sharks that we caught, but we caught a bunch of them. And it was, and they fight. They're fun to catch. Yep. But he knew, before they just take you out and stop, and you catch what you catch.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, the thing was, it was about the exact same amount of money.
Yes.
So we've been twice with him now.
Oh, yeah.
And we go twice a year. And so last year we went twice. We'll do it again this fall. We'll go back out with him probably this fall because the kids love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, our family's been going to St. Augustine for years, and pre-COVID, we've probably been doing about 8 years. Is same thing. My husband loves to fish. My brother-in-law gets seasick, so we found an inshore company that will take them inshore and fishing. And they actually, it was so calm one year, the guy was like, hey, listen, if you trust me, I'll get you out here, in the ocean. We'll go about 8 miles out. You'll still see the shore. We'll fish and we'll catch some stuff. So, what we figured out is they know
that
what's
the lay of the land
happening, and same thing. They went one year and wasn't really catching anything. And the guy looked at my husband. He said, would you like to just catch something? He's like, yeah, that's why we're here. And he goes, all right, let's go catch some shark. So because they were following along behind the shrimp boat, and catching them just right and left, and they didn't keep them because they weren't, he said, you're not really going to want to eat that.
Well, that's what this guy was like. You want to keep it? I was like, no, I don't want to keep it.
Yeah,
he did
we kept one, and we have the mouth. So to have the mouth. We did eat it, but it's really not good.
He had the ones we were catching were probably about 4 feet, right?
Yes.
But he had little ones that he had caught, and so he gave them. He told Tracy, he said, get this concoction of alcohol and something else, and so we got them in jars now. We've got like little sharks at home in jars. Yeah. Well, they're about 12 inches long, but it's cool. And the boys loved it.
My son was on the boat, and my nephew, and they loved it. I mean, it was a challenge.
Sure.
Deep sea fishing is.
Yeah.
But they love the catching the sharks. So, but the funny thing was, we did that on Wednesday. They didn't get back in the ocean
because they knew what was out there.
Yeah. The next day, we're like, hey, we're gonna go down to the ocean. I mean, they would go really far out and jump the waves, and they were both like, we're good. We're gonna go to the pool.
I have probably
they probably realized sharks are in the ocean.
I've been around them. I don't know, up until last year, probably the 3 years prior to that, every time we were in the ocean, we saw a shark. And one time as close as from me to you, and he was circling us. I had the boys. I was like, the lifeguards were saying, hey, get out. I said, I'm trying. I just don't know where he's going.
Yeah. Now, early in the year, my mom and I went to Hilton Head, and we started down at the beach, and we noticed nobody's in the water. I'm like, Mom, something's weird here. And sure enough, we saw a flag, and we walked by some people, and they were talking, and I heard shark, and we walked by somebody else, and they're like, yeah, they said the shark's gone now. We can get back in the ocean. And I was like, yeah. That's when I was like, nope, we're going to the pool. So
they catch them down there too on the shore, and
yes.
When they're, I wish they wouldn't fish while everybody's out there because you get the bait and it's attracting, but they do, and they can.
We feel the same way. Yeah.
Well, good.
So we've got a little off track.
That's all right. No, it's just, but you're right. The local fishermen here know the area, like Charlie.
Yes.
And numerous others. I think Scott Manning does it too now.
He does. He has we've used him several times too.
Yeah.
There's several companies out there. You can work with somebody else, but like I said, there's so many different things. If you kind of think a little bit out of the box, there's so many opportunities to have a business that's related to tourism in this area, to be a guide. And, my husband's always said he'd love to be a hunting guide, but he said the bad thing about it is you're working when you really want to be hunting. So, but
I guess everything becomes a job after
a while. But people visiting the area, they want to have a good time. If we have somebody that's coming in the area that wants to fish, we always suggest that they fish with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, why waste your time? Same thing. I mean, you wouldn't go to the ocean and get a boat and just go out there and be like, okay, I'm here to fish.
No,
so same thing. Even though, the lake's a lot smaller, we just suggest that they get with somebody that knows what they're doing.
I've been on the lake.
Enjoy their time.
I've been on the lake all my life, literally, on Norris. And I've downloaded an app, a GPS app. And it's amazing. I'm like, I don't think I've ever been there.
Yes.
There's places on Norris I've never been.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah. Well, we lived at Sequoia and never went down towards the other side, like near 33 Bridge.
Really?
Never went down that way. And then one year we had some family coming in, so we were going to rent another boat, and they didn't, this side of the lake didn't have any.
You always went down toward the dam or down?
Yeah, we always stayed near the dam. We always maybe went up around Anderson County Park, that area. But again, we lived right there at Sequoia, so we just stayed right in there in that area. And so we went down there, and I've driven down there.
Sure.
Visited the marinas, but I'd never been on the water down in that area, and I was like, wow,
it's pretty
this
right.
feels like I'm in a totally different location.
It's about 40 minute ride, it's casual ride, and it's nice. Yeah, it is. I've been up that way, but you get up towards Sharps Chapel, up in Campbell County. There's a bunch of places I'm thinking I had to go up here as a kid, but I haven't. Yeah. Powell Valley, I was a lifeguard. And I like when somebody would.
You lived in the Follett area.
Yes. And so, like at Powell Valley, if they had somebody call in sick and I wasn't working, or they'd call around until they found another guard to go up there. And so I was a little bit familiar with it, but I've never been up there on a boat. So there's a lot of places.
We have a Union County boat dock. I had never been up there, so we drove up there not long ago. And then we have you ever seen the ferry? Huh. Of course, the ferry's not there, not operational anymore, but it was on the Sharps Chapel side. So it comes across right at Union County Boat Dock. But
didn't know that.
I mean, talking about when we get out and drive around, my husband has a lease in Kentucky, and we were up there, and they have a ferry that goes across the Ohio River. I'm like, I've never been on a ferry. My great-grandfather used to run the one in Sevierville, and I had seen the one on Norris, but I had never been on one. So we drove up and did that one day while we were up there. But no, that's for people going across the lake up there. That was the only way. I mean, you were driving an hour around just to get to what you could see across the other side.
Yeah.
So, but it has just recently, they recently just stopped operating it. But I mean, I'm talking like within a year.
Oh, really?
But the barge is still up there. So we used it a lot with our Norris Lake cleanups.
Yeah.
So we were able to put stuff on the barge and bring it in and get it off with a backhoe or a skid steer, steer. Sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
My fumble mouth this morning. But anywho, so again, if you're out driving around on a Sunday afternoon, just drive up there and check it out. So
that's cool. Like, I didn't even realize we had one up there.
I think we talked about our Sundays.
Maybe.
Your Sunday afternoon that any retired person I ask a question, I was like, what do you enjoy about being retired? And they're like, I love my Sundays. I got my Sundays back.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking about work.
Not having to get
and
ready.
So that's something my husband and I are try to do is we get the most out of our Sundays. So we usually take drives, after church on Sunday, after we've eaten and taken our nap.
You can, and you get a really good idea of why people want to come here. I mean, if we enjoy it, they're going to enjoy
but driving up to Cumberland Gap, it's a great national park too.
Yes, I've been up through there.
Something you can drive up to and be back. So, sorry, we just keep dragging this out. But.
Yeah, we do, don't we? But that's okay. And again, I'm not small for words. You know what I mean?
There's a lot to do right here in this county and then all of our counties that surround us.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do. So there's no reason you should be bored, or if you want to get your kids off their phones for the day, there's a lot of opportunities.
One of my twins loves the houseboat. One does not. The one that does not, Jacob, is because it doesn't have internet.
Yes.
That's why I like it. But so what I've done, I've got Starlink so that I can put it out there. But I've got a password on it, and so they can only use it when I say they can use it. So I can still police it.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Anyway, but that's a bribe to get them out there, and then they get a little bit of their mechanism, their machine, their phones or whatever, but not. We still get some time out on the water.
Yeah.
So. All right, next month, like I said, I'm sure we'll have a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
As we get into closer into the fall and the fall festivals and all that stuff. And are they going to have the fall festival? Do they think they'll be ready for it? You said that they're doing it first and orderly.
They are going to have it
either
one way or the other.
Okay,
it might be in
that's
the back
what I'd heard.
Lot. It might be more on Main Street. I mean, really honestly, they haven't even talked about options. They're just waiting until it gets a little bit closer.
So
they are doing it.
Okay, good.
So
we'll talk about that more, I guess, as we get a little closer.
Yeah, I think the construction company is really pushing hard. And Catherine was talking the other day. One thing about them is if they run into a roadblock, they just don't go home for the day.
Yeah.
They turn around and say, okay, what can we go over here and do?
That's
so,
good.
A lot of road projects you see drag out for years. They have really stayed on top of it and are trying to make every minute of their time, use it efficiently. So to get the whole project done.
You go by one day and it looks something. You go by the next day and it's completely different. You can, especially when they started taking up the sidewalks.
Yeah,
huge change.
Yes. And the city, I mean, the construction company has really been communicating very well with the city, and the city has been working with the businesses downtown. And I think they all got together, and because they were trying to leave some things open and close some things, and like, just shut down the street. Let's get it over with instead of just moving everything every day. Let's get it over with.
And Roger was here, and he was talking about that when they did that, the construction company really, they could turn it up and help them out a lot too.
Yes.
And get it done quicker that way.
Absolutely. Being just a little bit of
pain now for a lot of gain later.
Absolutely.
All right. So, we will see you next month. And I don't know why I thought you were coming last week. That's
it. We talked about a couple of different days.
I know.
So that's okay.
I usually write it on the calendar. Yeah. So if I forget to write it on the calendar,
that's why I do not delete my text messages. So my husband, he gets it, he reads it, he deletes it. I'm like, no, I had to go back and look at that.
Go back and say, what time am I supposed to be there?
Exactly.
All right, we'll call it a day here. Stephanie will be back next week, fourth Tuesday.
Yes.
Fourth Tuesday of the month, or I said next week, next month. And if there's anything you guys want to know about, anything we've talked about today, you can find it on their website, adventureanderson.com. Or if you need any information, you can call us and we'll try and find it for you. All right.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Stephanie.
Ron.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor. Or email from our website. It's Ask Your Neighbor. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is Jim Miller with WYSH Local Information News. Remember, if you